Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the other side of the coin and welcome to your latest Chelsea transfer news. Of course, there's some big news to talk about in regards to Marc Cucurella. There's also some top news in regards to Ishe SamuelsSmith going to Strasbourg, yet another pure profit in the bag. What does it mean for his future? We're going to talk about that. And like always, there's a lot that's being talked about in regards to Alejandro Ganacho and Nicholas Jackson. What is happening there? We'll touch base on that. However, we're actually going to kick things off from here. Something different, something interesting, something very, very amazing, I feel, is happening just around the corner. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you guys remember, Chelsea bought a wonder kid from Kazakhstan, and this kid, I've been watching. Well, I'm not been watching the matches in the Kazakhstan league. I don't follow Kazakhstan league, but a lot of people share the link and share the compilation of his matches, his performances on social media, on X. And I've been watching him, and he seems like someone who is definitely rising, and he seems like a kid that could be a powerhouse moving forward. Ladies and gentlemen, I am talking about, I'm going to share this clip with you guys very, very soon. I'm talking about Dastan Satpaev. If you guys remember who this kid is, we're going to go into the details, how much we bought him for. I think we bought him for about 4 million USD, and that is a record signing in the Kazakhstan league. But this kid is now doing bits in the Champions League qualification. This is not a joke anymore. Obviously doing wonders as a kid in the Kazakhstan league is one thing, and that should not be downplayed one bit. He is a kid. He's only 16. I think he's going to turn 17 in about a couple of months' time. But doing these sort of things in the Champions League qualification, of course, the opposition is not a powerhouse, but nonetheless, it's Champions League qualification. This kid is someone that we need to look out for, and I think Chelsea has struck gold once again. I feel this is Esteval Willian-esque type of a goal that Chelsea has struck, and this is the thing. And look, as I've always mentioned in recent times, when things are good at Chelsea at the current state, when the current state feels more stable, these sort of news, it makes you happy, because it feels like, yes, the conveyor belt of mad talent is just going to be continuing on at Chelsea Football Club, and this whole project, this whole policy of going out there and finding the next gem, it's coming to fruition. It really is. Whether they make it at Chelsea or not, that's a separate story, but they're definitely going to improve their value. Something around 4 million, this guy probably will go, this kid, once he joins Chelsea Football Club when he's 18, not this season, but the next season, summer, I won't be surprised if his value is already at 20 million, because there is a lot of special quality about this kid. This kid seems like he's building as well. He's got the technical quality. The goals that I've seen, he's got immense technical quality, man. He really does. He can drop deep. He can link up. He's got the pace. And for a kid, his physicality is not bad. So Dastan Satpaev, ladies and gentlemen, with an authentic golazo in the UCL qualifier. Chelsea signed a real talent. Let's have a look at the goal first before we look at some more information in regards to Dastan Satpaev. Check this out, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, he plays for a team called, let me just quickly share this with you. Satpaev plays for a team called Kairat, I believe they're called Kairat FC, Kairat Almaty. Kairat Almaty, they're in the Kazakhstan league. They were up against this team, KUPS. I'm not sure who they are, but this team, KUPS, were leading 2-0 in the first leg. As you can see, Kairat Almaty won the second leg 3-2. So they were losing 2-0 from the first leg, and then the Kazakhstan team came back to win it in the second leg 3-2. And Dastan Satpaev, ladies and gentlemen, started the comeback on the 9th minute. So let's go back and check this footage out. Let me just bring this up. Here we go. Check this out, ladies and gentlemen. Kazakhstan Stadium. Keeper has done a bit of a madness there, but ladies and gentlemen, that is incredible strike. And do check his other goals out. You really do check his other goals out. They're very, very nice goals. I know that one still, its shot had venom. The goalkeeper was in massive error there, massive mistake from the goalkeeper, but nonetheless, very, very good goal from Dastan Satpaev. Check out his other goals, and we're going to check out some of the stats very, very soon. But quickly, let's have a look at how much we bought Dastan Satpaev for. Young Kazakh football talent to join London's Chelsea in record transfer, 11th February 2025. So earlier this year, we bought him. This is coming from the Astana Times from Kazakhstan. Astana Almaty's Kairat football team confirmed the transfer of 16-year-old forward Dastan Satpaev to London's Chelsea Football Club on Feb 10. He will move to London in the summer of 2026 when he turns 18. So obviously not this summer, but next summer. Italian sports journalist Fabrizio Romano reported that the transfer fee, including bonuses, reached 4 million euros. That's incredible. A record for Kazakhstan league. Born in Almaty, Satpaev joined the Kairat Academy at the age of 8. There he underwent all stages of training. From the start, he stood out for his hard work, discipline, and desire for perfection. And that's exactly what we're seeing. That really is exactly what we're seeing, from these early stages. He's 16, man. There's still so much growth to happen. There's still so much develop to happen. But already from the little bits and pieces of clips that's been, shared over the past 6 months, he looks like a top talent, ladies and gentlemen. 1.73 meters tall, center forward is his position. He will join Chelsea Football Club next season. Look at his stats this season, man. 18 matches played in the Kazakhstan league, 8 goals, 7 assists. He's very good with assisting as well. 1,300 minutes racked up. Overall this season so far, 25 matches played, 10 goals, 8 assists in 1,791 minutes. Over the next season, I'd love to see that double up those minutes, and I'm pretty sure it will. So he can play left wing. As you can see, he played 1 match there, and he's young. He can, I'm sure he'll develop his skill set to play in multiple position. And in, if you do aspire to make it at Chelsea Football Club and make it in the Premier League, you do need to be versatile. 24 starts as a striker. Ladies and gentlemen, we truly have something special lined up with Dastan Satpaev. Do look out and keep a track of him, because I know I will be. I'm going to be watching whoever they're playing next up in the Champions League. Look, I'm somewhat certain that they're going to get knocked out very, very soon when they come up against a team that is a regular in the Champions League. Third round qualification, it starts getting a little bit serious. But we're going to have one eye there. It'll be interesting to see how Satpaev does. And I think if we get the opportunity to even do a watch along, I think that's on track. That's on track. Whether they show those matches, I'm not sure. But now, next up, ladies and gentlemen, Marc Cucurella. We've mentioned this a couple of days ago in the video when there was Cristiano Ronaldo saying to Al Nassr, go and get my man Marc Cucurella as well, on top of João Felix. I said, look, tricky moment coming up for Cucurella after this season, where there'll be 2 years left in his contract. We're going to have to decide whether to give him a contract extension. Obviously we don't want to get him to leave Chelsea Football Club on a free. We have to make a decision, and the decision is going to be unique because this football club so far, under the new directorship and the ownership, what do we do when the player starts reaching? He's going to be 28 this year. Marc Cucurella, I'm pretty sure, or he's already turned 27. He's going to be 28 next year, something like that. What do we do when players are, reaching or nearing 30 years old mark? What do we do then? What type of wages are we going to offer? He's on good wages as well. And that was the question that I posed in the video last time, because it's going to be something interesting to see what our ownership and our directorship does. And we have the answer. Today, we have the answer coming from Fabrizio Romano. And I expected that. I've said in recent times that Marc Cucurella is a very, very important player for us, and especially important for Enzo Maresca. I think Marc Cucurella would want to win the Premier League with Chelsea. I think he'd want to win the Champions League with Chelsea. I think a lot of players fall into that category. Cole Palmer recently talked about that. I'm sure Enzo Fernandez and many more feels like they want to achieve those milestones with Chelsea. Chelsea plan to offer Marc Cucurella a new contract, key part of long-term project. So new contract is on the cards, and we talked about this a couple of days ago. No talks with Al Nassr. Chelsea see Marc Cucurella as an important player. Hato would be backup left back, and that's fine. Hato's 19. Hato will be the future. But as long as we've got Marc Cucurella, at least over the next few seasons, he is definitely going to be the number one at Chelsea Football Club. And yeah, a new contract. How the new contract looks like, how many years is going to be the new contract, that is going to be very, very special, because Marc Cucurella will have a decision to make. His next contract will be probably the biggest one for him to really set up his family, really set up his life post-football. So Chelsea, they'll be weary. How much do you want to pay for someone who's going to be, the next contract will take him beyond 30 years old? Is he still going to be the same level? It'll be interesting to see, because you don't want to end up giving a lot of money to a player when they reach eventually 30, and then it starts dipping, and then you've still got 3 years left. Much like what you start, Ben Chilwell is not 30, but look at Ben Chilwell. His suitors are gone. But the thing about Marc Cucurella, I feel like he's far better all-rounded player as opposed to Ben Chilwell. He's got a lot more artilleries on him. Someone who can play in midfield, someone who can play out wide, someone who can play LCB. There's a lot more about Marc Cucurella, and I feel like Marc Cucurella can be at a top level for a very, very long time. But we shall see. We shall see what happens down the track. Now, Chelsea agreed deal with Strasbourg to sell Ishe SamuelsSmith. Once again, this is the beauty about having the club multi-club model, where you don't necessarily need to keep loaning. You only get 3 loan spots with Strasbourg, and they're all going to be taken. Penders is already there. Kendry Paez is going to go there. And looks like Matisse Omogo is already there. So there's 3 loan moves that's happening over there. Oh, no, Matisse Omogo was actually sold, by the way. Sorry, he's actually sold, just like Ishe SamuelsSmith. Who did we send recently? We sent someone there recently. Why don't I remember? And it was a bit of a controversy as well. We recently loaned someone over there. I know Kendry Paez is going to go on a loan. I know Mike Penders is going to go on a loan. Santos came back. Who did we loan? Oh, man, why is this not... Let me know in the comment section, why has this gone over my head? Recently, we loaned someone, and it was a bit of a... There was a bit of a controversy, wasn't it? Well, not so much of a controversy to me, but it was a bit of a controversy, and we were thinking, why has this player taking up a loan spot? Anyway, if it comes to my mind, we'll talk about it. But Ishe SamuelsSmith, I feel like this is good. This is another positive of having, a multi-club model where you can sell, you can make a pure profit out of Ishe SamuelsSmith, and the player is still within your compound, within your, ownership. So if we ever see that this kid has blown up and he's done well, we can then take him back and bring him to Chelsea, and Chelsea can pay a bit more money for it. And at the same time, Ishe SamuelsSmith, I believe he's a left back. He'll get the opportunity at Strasbourg under Liam Rossiner. He'll get to play in the Conference League as well with Strasbourg, so he'll get some European experience. And this is good. I have no issues about this. I feel like this is very, very sensible move, and very smart from Chelsea in terms of finances as well. So finances for both Strasbourg and for Ishe SamuelsSmith. So both ways, I think this is quite interesting and quite fruitful. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts. I think this is great for all parties involved, and for Ishe SamuelsSmith to develop as well. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, Chelsea will surpass the 160 million mark for player sales, and that is with including add-ons once SamuelsSmith becomes a Strasbourg player officially. That's mad, man. That is mad. People keep talking about how much we purchase. Look at the way we sell as well. We offset a lot of our purchases with sells, and I feel this is, as I've said many times, this is a true revenue stream for our ownership. It really is a true revenue stream. This player stock exchange business, once upon a time, I didn't like it because current status of the football club wasn't good. When the current status is looked after, yeah, turn it into a stock market. I've got no issues. There's money to be made. There is money to be made. You can buy these players, these gems, and sell them off for good money. So there's always good opportunity to make money, and I think Chelsea is trying to capitalize on that, which is fantastic. So Good news, 160 million. Well done. Last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, Chelsea's interest in Alejandro Garnacho is long-standing, but there is one main obstacle as regards any potential trade. The hierarchy at Chelsea value Nicholas Jackson at 80 million pounds. They don't want to pay more than 30 million for Ganacho. I said it in recent times. Ganacho should be around 30 million, and this is exactly what's getting touted around. And look, if at 30 million, that becomes a market opportunity. That truly becomes a market opportunity. And 80 million for Nicholas Jackson is very hefty, but if Man United wants to do this sort of trade nonsense, then we're going to have to make up that difference. So then, sure, Nicholas Jackson 80 million, Garnacho 30, the difference is 50. Give us a 50 in cash, and we'll move on. I think that is a sort of good scenario for. Not the greatest scenario for us. I really don't want Ganacho, but it looks like it's a market opportunity at 30 million. If he does somewhat work out, then we have the opportunity to sell him for a bit more money. If he doesn't, look, I don't think he'll lose value because he is a young player. So that is the latest. You know what? It's bugging me still. I might have tweeted about this not that long ago. Who is the player that went to Strasbourg? I do want to see this because I know I tweeted about this not that long ago. I know I tweeted about this. Now I must find it. Mamadou Sarr. There you go. This totally makes sense. Mamadou Sarr most likely wasn't going to crack. Yeah, there you go. Mamadou Sarr is the one that's gone back to Strasbourg on loan. And this is why, you know, we don't have enough loan room for Ishe SamuelsSmith, so he's been sold, but that's fine. It's all within the same compound, within the Chelsea ownership, well, Blue Coast ownership. So I think that's just fine. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts about everything we spoke about, especially in regards to Dastan Satpaev and Cucurella's contract extension. What do you think about Dastan Satpaev in the future? Do you think he's going to crack it at Chelsea Football Club? I certainly do feel so, that if his growth keeps on going this way, I feel he's going to be a sensational player. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Smash up the like button if you're here for the first time. Subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Until next time, take care. See ya.